The headlines on Sky News with Philippa Hall.
A man obsessed with religion who murdered a vicar and a retired teacher has been sentenced to life in prison with no minimum term. Stephen Farrow denied murdering Reverend John Suddards inside his vicarage in South Gloucestershire. 77-year-old Betty Yates had been stabbed to death at her home in Worcestershire 6 weeks earlier. Sian Sullivan from the Crown Prosecution Service welcomes the sentence.
Nothing will compensate the families of John Suddards and Betty Yates for their losses, or the occupants of the cottage for the horrific scene they encountered on returning to their home following the burglary. But the sentence today reflects the brutal nature of these crimes and the devastating effect they had on the victims' families and the communities in which they each played such an active role.
Fuel shortages are slowing attempts to get back to business as usual on America's northeast coast. In some areas, more than half of petrol stations are closed, either because they have no power or nothing to sell. Any that are open in New York and New Jersey have long queues.
Almost like Armageddon. It's rough. It's a rough feeling out here. You know, you got a car, you almost can't get gas. Everybody's fighting for it. Some stations you go to, just cars parked there waiting for when the truck comes and they just fill up. You know, it's rough.
A man's been found guilty of the murder of his girlfriend's 2-year-old son. Rio Smedley had 91 separate injuries and died from a ruptured liver. 23-year-old Daniel Rigby from Wigan had denied ever hurting the toddler. Rio's mother, Kirsty Smedley, has been convicted of causing or allowing the death of her son. High-profile Republican Colin Duffy has been arrested by police investigating the murder of a Northern Ireland prison officer. David Black was killed in what police are calling an ambush on the M1 motorway in County Armagh yesterday. Colin Duffy and a second man were detained just miles from where the attack took place in the Lurgan area. They've been taken to the Antrim Serious Crime Suite. Former Labour Minister Dennis McShane has quit as MP for Rotherham in the wake of an expenses scandal. A Westminster Sleaze watchdogs found he wrongly claimed thousands between 2004 and 2008 and plainly intended to deceive. The Parliamentary Committee says it's the gravest case brought to its attention. Disgraced tycoon Azil Nadir has been ordered to pay £5 million in compensation to the administrators of Polypec International or face 6 years in jail. Nadir was jailed for 10 years in August for stealing nearly £30 million from his company in the 1980s. He told a compensation hearing in September that he had no assets. Royal Mail post boxes painted gold to celebrate Britain's Olympic winners will not be returned to red. The company says the 110 boxes across the UK will also have plaques attached, naming the successful athlete and their achievement.